Good evening, good night. Welcome back, everybody. For those of you who may not know who I am, my name is Derek. I am one of the dead team members for HumanitZ. It has been about a month since I streamed the scenario, and it's been about a little over 2 months since we did the most recent update. So last update was Saddles and Settlements, but now we bring to you the Armored Frontier. So a lot of people were thinking that this was another just vehicles expansion we just did. Thank you very much, H2O. A lot of people think that we just did vehicles last update, and now we're doing vehicles again this update. It's like, no, this is more of actually a quality of life update with some extra goodies sprinkled in. So we'll get to everything here in a second. There are some things that I want to cover real quick. Make sure that you jump onto the Discord. Come hang out with us on the Discord. It's the easiest way to get a hold of us. When you're leaving feedback, if you can leave, constructive feedback. I didn't say positive feedback. I said constructive feedback. So if you don't like anything that you hear or see, let me know once this goes on YouTube and you guys are watching it on YouTube. Put it down in the comments below. And on Steam discussions, give us some feedback. All right. So telling us, hey, something sucks. Okay, cool. Tell us why it sucks. What don't you like about it? What can we do to make it better for you? All right, afford us that opportunity. Go over to humanitzgame.com and check out the code of conduct for servers, merchandise, upcoming news, information, all sorts of things. So make sure you get on the X page, check out the Reddit. I'm overactive in the Reddit as well as Steam discussions and the Discord, as well as doing videos here. I will be doing videos a lot more frequently. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got up front. Before we get into the nitty gritty of the things that I need to cover in the actual thing itself, I want to touch on a couple of things that are forefront. We'll talk about them at the very end as well. But those of you that know, I tend to go a little bit long because I like to explain a lot of things. One of the things that we were not able to address in this update is sky bases. All right, so people playing on PvE servers, people playing on PvP servers, okay, especially the PvP guys. All right, it is against the code of conduct to build in areas that can't be raided. This includes, signing on, building a bridge, dismantling your bridge, and leaving it, unraidable while you're on the servers. We have to rework the entire build system specifically to compensate for PvP play as well as some underlying systems we are not currently too keen on. All right, this is a huge undertaking, and it's going to take longer than a month and a half that we usually do our updates. So this is going to be something that's going to be introduced at 1.0. We're going to be reworking the entire build system. So we discussed that last night. Additionally, offline raid protection. Okay. We believe in player versus player, not player versus base while somebody's offline. All right. So if you are playing on the server in PvP and you're one of those people that when you sign out, you deconstruct your bridge or the access to your base, or you just make it completely unraidable, you're going to get a visit from me. And I'm going to ask you very nicely, make sure that you make your base raidable for people while you are online. While you're offline, if you remove your bridges or your stairs or anything and then just rebuild them when you come back in, I don't have an issue with that because we are going to be adding in offline raid protection in the future. So, forefront, when people are offline, bases won't be raided. That's not covered now. That's forward-leaning, all right? Weapons not staying loaded. We know. So whenever you sign out and sign back in again, whenever you take a gun and you drop it on the ground, whenever you take a gun and put it in your backpack, it unloads the ammunition. We got it. We understand it. We hear you. It's a huge undertaking, and it also falls into our inventory management system, which we're also going to be working on, as well as touching base in the skills and professions, which we have later on. So for now, please bear with us. It is something we are working on, so that way if you drop a gun, if you hot swap it to somewhere else, if you put it away, it will account for the ammunition that's in the gun, and the gun will stay with that loaded ammunition. So I just wanted to touch on those three things. Let's get into everything that's going on right now. So it's a month and a half has gone by very fast. Dear survivors, we are back with another update. This time, HumanitZ is seeing the addition of car modification and upgrades. But those of you who have been following us for a while know we never go small on our updates. We've added new POIs, evolved map locations, and lots of fixes and changes to improve the experience for everyone. Server information. We are happy to announce that we have now officially switched over to Bisect hosting for all our official servers and now our official partner. Right, so we are no longer with Shockbyte. That's been announced, I believe, for the past few weeks. We have switched over to Bisect hosting. We've been playtesting on the servers that they have provided for us, and they are fantastic. They are better performing for what we have in the game. Big news for our Brazilian survivors. While we moved to Bisect, they also gave us some Sao Paulo servers. So now Brazil, hey, Jao Gaming, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. All of our Brazilian players, you guys now have official Sao Paulo Brazilian server support. Okay, so get in there. We got 2 servers, one for PvE, one for PvP. Full server wipe and restart is highly recommended to get the full effect of all the new features and map updates. Okay, so single player, hosted local multiplayer, make sure you guys pull the update, see if it's messed with your map. If you've explored a lot of areas and the map is uncovered, some of the looting locations, they will not populate until you restart a new save. Okay, so again, going forward up until 1.0 later this year, when we do updates, it is highly encouraged that you do a new save with each update. This will also negate a lot of bugs that you may incur by running longer running saves, such as the food spoiling that we haven't been able to reproduce the food spoilage issue. So that's something that we've been working on for the past month and a half. It's been reported. When you set it to never, it won't spoil. We've tried it. I have personally done it yesterday. I recorded a lot. Items in bags, items placed, items dropped, items in your backpack, items in containers. So all of those were tested extensively across multiple different things. Sealed food, unsealed food, spoiling food, raw meat, raw fish, cooked fish. I did a lot. So it's working as intended. If you have video evidence of this not working, I'm not saying like a time-lapsed 4-hour video, but please let us know. If you go in and you change your settings while you're in game and stuff like that, sometimes that can have an effect. Restart your servers, play a new file. Localization. This needs to get out of my way. Localization. We've added the first phase of translation updates for Brazil Portuguese, and there will be further updates to improve localization for all languages as we get closer to 1.0. There will be missing translations and errors as we are still completing the full translation project. We understand that a lot of things may not translate over. So, for instance, if you're playing, if your native language is Chinese, you prefer to play in Chinese. If you're doing Japanese, Italian, German, whatever, there's going to be some English words in there. We apologize. We are not able to get to a lot of that. The only localization that we have control over right now is Chinese translation, because that's personally handled by the publishers. Hey, what's up, Kage? We'll be getting into some stuff later tonight. I'm good for tonight, brother. So please bear with us. All right, everything else is handled by the community. So as we get stuff from the community, Russian counterparts, Italian, German, Korean. If anybody out there is Korean and wants to work on localization, help us out. DM Yaza through the Discord. So, all right, cool. Getting past all that, the new additions, everything that people are wanting to know. New vehicle armor system has been added. There are 3 different levels and 3 different tiers of vehicle armors. You can build those in your crafting workbench. So you can build wood, scrap metal, and iron. So you can different things. Yaz has been teasing it for the past month. New tire system has been added. Over time, tires can become worn and become damaged when they need to be replaced. Driving without tires may affect your driving skills. So there is some physics that are coming into play if you have a blown out tire, if you have no tire, if you have bad tires. So we've been we've tested this extensively. New vehicle modifications: fuel filter, gas tank, exhaust silencer, and car alarm. We have also moved the stat nav over to a modification, so it's less confusing for people that think that they need the sat nav in order to drive a vehicle. So you've actually got 5. So you've got the fuel filter, the gas tank, the exhaust silencer, and the car alarm, and the sat nav. All work fantastic. They work really well. New P90 submachine gun. New P90 FN 5.7 ammunition. The new S-Vol weapon. The new M4A1. Tire iron is a melee weapon. We have a new POI, the mining site. So you can go over there and you can get a whole bunch of different, minerals and nodes. And yes, they do respawn, and yes, they're good to go. They work. It's a good central location, especially for you PvP guys that want to, try to monopolize an area. Get over there. You got the mining site. There's a new shipping dockyard. Yaza teased a small little image of that. Works really good. Not going to spoil anything over there, but check it out. Completely overhauled the airport. Suze did a fantastic job with both the dockyard and the airport. Completely renovated the entire airport. There's, crashed airplanes, regular airplanes. You can go inside the terminal. Just check it out. There's some really cool, interesting loot over there too. Can't wait to get home. Very, very big hug from your biggest Portuguese fan. Hey, thank you so much. Muito bom, right? Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I probably butchered that. I can't speak Portuguese. New ship that you can enter. All right, so get over to the shipyard. Check that out. Might be a good base location for you guys. There's a new hidden bunker that's been added. Bandit locked containers with high tier loot requiring a crowbar or a lockpick or a hacking device to open. New backpack attachments. So now you can find 10 charms, 3 toys, and you can add the coffee cup to your backpack. So now you got some dangly bits that you can have on your bag. New skill added. Hacker skill for allowing players to utilize hacking device on advanced locks. This is going to come very, very important later on when we do quality of life talk. New hacking device can now be crafted and allow access to advanced locks. New craftable items have been added to craft said hacking device. And it's a nice little mini game. It's fun. New setting for player names above heads for party and clan members. So now you can go into your settings. You can toggle on and off colors between your party members and your clan members and see their names above your head, if you so choose to have that turned on. Thank you for this update. When modding comes to HumanitZ, will it be possible to edit the map? No. There's going to be a lot of variables that are not exposed when modding comes to as far as modding the official map. No. But that's subject to change. As it stands right now, no. Boom. Quality of life changes. Changes made to vehicle claim system. All right. Oh, so that was it for newest editions. All right. And believe it or not, that took a very long time. Quality of life changes. Changes made to the vehicle claim system. Unclaimed vehicles are now destroyed on restart, and new vehicles are randomly respawned in the world. All right. So all of you on the servers that I've had to go in and liberate all of your vehicles because you wanted to hoard everything and basically be a bunch of dicks. All right. I calls them like I sees them. All right. Don't be a dick. All right. Let the community have some fun. Now, vehicles will respawn, and you can only claim 2 vehicles. So if you go out, claim a bunch of vehicles, unclaim them back at your base thinking that they're safe, nope. Server restart twice a day. They're going to repopulate and go back out into the ether. So you can still only have 2 vehicles to yourself, to your person. Server admins can now see the name of players in addition to Steam IDs when accessing storage of vehicles. So for server admins, you're able to see the long Steam ID number. Now that Steam ID number after it has the name of the actual person. So that way you don't have to go out and do extra research. Plus it helps us. We can be like, oh, it's this person. I'm going to cross-reference Steam. I'm going to pull up their Steam stuff and see if they try to change the name. Look on the Discord, look on Reddit. I will look into different locations. I will try to get a hold of said person and talk to them first and be like, hey, let's go ahead and fix this. Let's make this better for the community. And if anybody wants to choose violence at the end of the day, subject to code of conduct. So we'll see what happens. Added reset button for server settings so you can go back to default value. So this doesn't mean servers. What this means is for when you go in, you create your original game session and you start tweaking all your settings. If you're like, you know what, let me just make it the default value. Just hit that reset button and you're good to go. Adjusted daylight values based on player feedback. Okay. So I've had extensive conversations with a lot of people in Steam discussions. Don't forget, you got torches and you got flashlights, okay? Some people think when I say torches, well, that is a flashlight. Well, I mean player-crafted torches that you can carry as well as outdoor buildable torches and wall torches. A lot of people were complaining that it's always dark. We could never get it on our end to where it was dark all the time, so we lengthened the time of day. And we are in the future looking at allowing you to make servers last a little bit longer if you wanted to. I think that might already be implemented, that you can make them about 2 hours, but we'll see. But yeah, don't forget about your torches and flashlights. Press that T button. Lifesaver. Made adjustments to lightning to improve weather performance issues. So no, you will no longer see FPS tanking or FPS spikes when lightning flashes. Increased pickup speed animation based off player feedback. A lot of people said that it was a little bit too slow. Cool, we sped it up. You can fully rotate the camera while driving. We increased the health of the APC. We increased the repair value of the APC. The sat-nav has been moved to vehicle mods, like I mentioned earlier. Increased pickup radius, so no more pixel perfect picking up. Say that 3 times fast. Pixel perfect picking up, pixel perfect picking up. All right. So a lot of people said that you needed pixel perfect placement. Trust me, I 100% saw it too. I bitched, I complained, we got it done, we got it taken care of. So now the box has been made a little bit bigger so that way you can interact with things a little bit further away. Chopping, sawing, chainsawing logs now drops wood in a stack. So now you don't have to pick up each individual stack. Now you just pick it up. Wood can now go in your pockets. Scrap cars now drop sheet metal in a stack, so you don't have to pick up individual pieces of sheet metal. Scrap cars now have a chance to drop tires. Crowbar animation has now been synced with the audio, so it doesn't stop and then the audio keeps playing. You can now add resources without the build menu. You can still use the build menu, if you're accustomed to it and adding your resources, but now you can walk up to it and it'll say press X, add resources. Caveat, okay? This system is not perfected yet. This is stage 1 of this system, and we're going to be revamping, like I said before, the entire build mechanic system. It might be a little finicky. You might go to add resources, and it's actually adding something to the resource next to it. So sometimes you might need, and if it doesn't allow you to add the resources, you might need to go into your build menu, walk up to it until it says add resources, and then you can add resources, all right? Finicky. We're still working on it. We're tweaking it. It's early access. Please afford us the opportunity to correct our mistakes and fix things. Hey, what's up, Hugo? Thanks for popping in, brother. Miss you. Dismantling. Okay, this hacking device comes into play here. All right, listen. Dismantling your player storage containers with the items in them now drops the items that are inside of them. Okay? It will not drop a bag with all of your items in it. It will drop them individually. You will need to pick them up. Again, this is iteration 1. We're going to see if this works first. Destroying players' containers. Items will not drop the items. Okay? So if you're one of those, little ratters that like to run out and, blow up people's bases and blow up their storage containers and all that kind of stuff and try to collect the loot, when you blow up... Hey, Sonzo, thank you so much for the follow. Good to see you here. If you decide to run out and blow up people's storages, you're not going to get the loot from them. You actually need to actively lockpick them or hack them, because if you're going to be blowing up and destroying people's storages, you're destroying their loot. So, gotta play the game. Sorry, gotta play the game. Sharp tool item is now needed in hand to harvest meat from animals. A lot of people wanted the hammer in your backpack to make it like the knife, that it uses your durability of the knife while you're harvesting things. That wasn't working for the knife. The durability wasn't working. So now, if you want to harvest things, you need to put like your butcher knife, your machete, your katana, like anything that's sharp that you use to harvest animals and skin them. You need to have that in your hand now. And it'll tell you, there's a prompt. Sharp tool used for harvesting animals now takes durability loss because it's in your hand. Faceware items now take durability loss. So it was reported that, hockey masks, skull masks, eyewear, sunglasses, all that kind of shit, bandanas, when they were on your face, it wasn't taking durability damage. Now they do. I need to scroll down. There you go. I apologize. See, Dubs is usually in my chat, and he's usually, dude, man, scroll up, man. Player-built assets on multi-story buildings or rooftops can no longer be seen when on ground floor. So if you build a bunch of shit inside, or you build it on roofs, or you build it on player roofs, it can't be seen. We may have missed 1 or 2, kind of ran out of time, don't know yet. So check that out. More items have stacking capabilities. So the MREs, regular and advanced locks, things of that nature. So you've got a lot more things that are now stackable. Most scrap cars will now respawn. Scrap cars on the road will not respawn, but cars like the ones at the auto hobby shop or junkyards will respawn. So that way, that should also help you with your scrap metal looking needs. Additionally, it's been buffed inside trash bins. It's been buffed in construction sites. It's been buffed at hardware stores. So you should never run out of scrap metal. Where am I? Survivors will no longer take damage from zombies when inside of a vehicle. Okay, they'll just hit your vehicle. Door open and close. It's my puppy. You guys haven't seen her. Reese! Where's your cup? Oh, God, 38 pounds. Oh. Here's Reese. She is our brand new German Shepherd. Oh, she's a push. Who's my pretty puppy? Oh, so you guys saw Esh. She is our Belgian Malinois. We got her about almost 2 months ago. She's 4 years old. This little girl's only 4 months old. Yes, she is. She's fucking huge. What? There's nothing over there for you, baby. Sorry. All right. What else we got? Yeah. You don't take damage from zombies inside vehicles anymore. Door open and close prompt now moves with door instead of staying in the doorway. So a lot of people complained that she's gorgeous. She's a pretty girl. Who's a girl? Who's a pretty? I'm such a mean man, aren't I? I am so terrible. I'm such a bad person. My puppies love me. People that were dying and their death crates were stuck inside the door frames and they weren't able to access them because the open close prompt was there. So now the open close prompt moves with the door. So now you can access your crates. AWM has been converted to 7.62 instead of 50 cal ammo. But there is no 7.62 AWM. You were in the military. You should know this. There is a 7.62 variant. It's just not the standard NATO variant. Okay, so 7.62 is a blanket ammunition type. We are aware that AWM uses 7.62 by 67 millimeter, not standard 7.62 by 51 NATO. All right. So, thank you for calling us out on that. Okay, go on. You can go down. 38 pounds. She's a big girl. She's gonna be like 70, 80 pounds. Yeah, she wants to go back upstairs. Thanks, Don. Okay, anyways. The Scar L has been changed to the Scar H and now takes 7.62 ammunition. That was also to compensate for the fact that we added the M4 in. The M4 is a 5.56 weapon, and we had a lot of 5.56 weapons in, so now you got some more 7.62 variants. Fire arrows icon has been changed. Fire arrows can no longer go in pockets. Compound bow icon has been updated. The menu UI for items in larger backpacks are no longer cut off at the bottom of the screen. So basically, if I were to take my screen right here, right, I'm playing the game. You've got your big ass fucking adventure backpack that nobody can ever find because you got all the assholes that come in. Hey, what's up, Dubs? I was gonna say like 20 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago that you weren't here to call me out when I wasn't scrolling down, man. You got the big ass backpack. Anything that was accessible in the bottom row, down here in the bottom right hand corner, when you click on it with your mouse, or whether you're using the contextual menu with the controller, which the game does work with the controller. It works with this controller. It works with this controller. It doesn't work with this one because this is a piece of shit. It works with the PS5 controller. It works with all these controllers. I've got them. I got 4 different variations over here. It works. So anybody that tells you that it doesn't work, it sounds like an issue, not an ish-us. All right, as somebody so eloquently put it during the stream last time. It doesn't cut off that little menu where it says like rip, tear, hit, rip, and tear. Shout out to Doom. Move, sort, all that kind of crap. So let's see, where are we? All right. Reduced the amount of resources required to craft animal and fish traps. Removed rocks along the route Tommy takes for his quest so he stops getting stuck. Okay, so Tommy won't get stuck on the train over there because there is no terrain for him to walk over. Zeke collision has been improved to further reduce chances of vehicle flipping. Zeeks can no longer damage you inside vehicles. I think, I have a fucking double today. Whoops. Zeeks can damage you while sleeping, but not in sleeping bags or tents, so we're still working on that. Okay? Improved server performance. Thank you again, Bisect Hosting. Thank you so much for, partnering with us and getting us over there. We've also done a lot of additional server performance enhancements. Updated reported translation issues. So there were some reported issues. We fixed those, got those in there. Updated tutorial based off of player feedback. I want to throw a shout out to there real quick to one community member. that wanted to say that they couldn't light anything because there was no lighter for them to pick up. It was right there on the ground. So now, in order to help people, we put a table there and put all of the items on tables, so that way you guys can, see them a little bit better. The demo will be updated to current build version later today. Okay, so anybody that's watching now or see this in the future, deciding on whether or not you want to play the game, later today the demo will be updated. We didn't get enough time to get it updated. Hey, what's up, Snake Eyes? Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, bug fixes. This is the meat and potatoes of everything. While yes, all that stuff was fun, this is the meat and potatoes. This lets you guys know, hey, your voices are being heard. All right. This is about 2.5 pages of a Word doc on bug fixes. I'm going to go through them fast. There's not going to be stuff. Maybe change the default highlight color to orange instead of white too. We don't need to. I think that should be on the player, because if we change it to orange automatically, then people are going to be like, make white the default, make blue the default, make no. So that's on the player. That's on the player to do. We don't. This may sound rude, but we don't cater to laziness, if that makes sense. I understand you don't mean it as being lazy. I'm saying that from my standpoint. I think, like, no matter what we do, we're not going to appease everybody, so it's going to stay the way it is for now. Cool. Horde mode scenario completion. You mean for the tutorial first? No. Horde mode scenario completion, Fortunate Son achievement now works properly. And if I were to pull up my, I would have to click out of this, but I have the trophy. I shared it in Discord. It's fucking working appropriately. It got fixed 7 days ago. So thank you, Dubs, for finding that and getting it taken care of. All Zeke backpacks will now disappear over time and during server restart. Fingers and ankles now show appropriate body color when wearing fingerless gloves and sneakers or trainers with short pants. So the problem was that it was defaulting to white fingertips and white ankles. So for anybody that's not white, we can understand that that's a fucking problem. So there you go. We fixed that. Game no longer crashes when placing a Zeke dropped backpack on a light pole. That was fucking hysterical to see. So Alacrity actually sent us a picture of people on the servers that would, when the backpacks weren't despawning, they would just take them and hang them up on light poles. And it was ridiculous to look at. It would look like a Christmas tree of backpacks. Camera issue when jumping out of a window of the gun store is rectified. Hair no longer disappears when equipping NVGs. Caveat. If you have ponytails, if you have longer hair and you put the NVGs on, your hair will go up into the helmet, but it won't disappear when you take the helmet off. That's what we were able to fix. Once we do the complete character overhaul, okay, there is a character overhaul that's coming, that will be fixed. If you have the time, I'd like to ask a question when you finalize the update list. Yeah, I always have time for questions. You can ask right now if you want. As soon as I see it, I'll answer it. Hair no longer clips through the new cowboy hat. Airdrops no longer float in the air. Mushrooms and stones now replicating properly on the servers, so no more can't pick them up. Yeah, absolutely, Hugo. Empty cans now stacking appropriately. Berry bushes replication fixed to allow harvesting. Okay, so that kind of falls in with the mushrooms and stones. Berry bush animation stutter has been rectified, so people were walking into where the berry bush was and it was causing a stuttering of the character. They were just tweaking the fuck out. That's been fixed. Mushrooms and berries now spawn in their appropriate seasons upon starting of the game. So if somebody decided to start in winter, which there are players that start in winter, it was spawning the mushrooms and the berry bushes. Those aren't supposed to happen. So apples spawn in fall, mushrooms are in spring and fall, berries are in spring and summer. And then, of course, make sure that when you're planting your crops that you look at the tooltip, because it tells you what season they grow in. Fish traps no longer remove contents upon server reset. Crafting food no longer accounts for quick slot items when crafting, allowing duplication. So what was happening was somebody was taking like a cabbage, putting it in their quick slot, taking another cabbage, leaving it in their inventory, taking the water and the empty can, crafting up the cabbage soup, and it wouldn't use one of the items in their quick slot. So now it only accounts for what's in your inventory. And it was allowing duplication of things. Hey, what's up, SOS? Make sure you guys check out the abridged version of our update when SOS State of Survival podcast on their YouTube channel. Make sure that you go check the abridged version. Theirs is less than an hour long. You know, theirs is more straight and to the point and really good. So go check them out over on YouTube, State of Survival podcast. Yeah, fish traps no longer remove content upon server reset. Crafting food, creating a clan now works with the controller. So that's one of my fucking complaints. It's been logged for a while. We've got to take care of. Pin code input now works on controller. Build menu UI no longer displays controller prompts when not using the controller. Can now swap ammo using the controller. You have to hold your reload button. There you go. Thank you, Dubs. I'm bad about it. I'm sorry. You know what? Let me shift from this screen to reading at this screen. Okay. But now if I look at this screen, then it looks like I'm looking off screen. So I have to look this way in order for the camera to make it look like I'm looking at what I'm reading. Can now swap ammo using the controller. You have to hold your reload button. Can now swap ammo while on the horse. That's blanket across everything. Reported fences you were unable to climb over can now be climbed over. Bunker ceilings raised so you won't get stuck on the beds. Logging out inside of a building no longer disrupts camera positioning when you log back in. New base gates can now be shot through when shooting through the catwalk. So if you know that there was the palisades which were of different height and you couldn't shoot through the slots, you can shoot through the slots now. It's fine. New base gate barbed wire upgrades now build in the appropriate place. So they were supposed to spawn at the bottom of the gate, but they were spawning at the top. Now they're fixed. Mining node resources will no longer spawn under the terrain when mined. Light poles and electric fences will no longer look unpowered when returning to render distance while they are powered. So, might be a little bit confusing. I might be playing PvP. I turn on my generator. It powers my lights. It powers my electric fences. I leave and go do something halfway across the map. I come back. I go and I walk across my metal grates, and then I electrocute myself because it wasn't looking like it was turned on or the lights were off, making me think that I left my generator off, right? It's because whenever you left render distance, those animations would turn off, and they just wouldn't turn back on when you got close. That's been fixed. Okay, my dad had surgery today, so I just got a text message. He did really good. Okay, cool. Uzi crafting at the gun bench now allows the gun crafting in-game achievement to complete. Tent text UI now says disassemble to pack up your tent instead of assemble. Compost bin no longer allows water duplication or UI issues with the bottles. Siphoning fuel now gives the appropriate values. Flamethrower, hope he gets well soon. Yeah, he'll be fine. He's a trooper. He's stubborn like me. Siphoning fuel now gives appropriate values. But I do appreciate that. Thank you. I didn't want to seem cold and dismissive. No, thank you so much for your concern. Sorry. I process emotion differently than others. I'm very... Flamethrower now displays correctly in the gun rack. Flamethrower now damages vehicles and structures, especially in PvP, and explosive barrels. Fixed grass collision issue in various locations. Death crates now accessible when dying in doorways. Logs can now be dropped into wood without having to be picked up first. Logs can now be chopped into wood. I think I said dropped. Logs can now be chopped into wood. Thank you, Dubs. Short attention span. Where am I? Lighting fires no longer consumes multiple items. So whenever you lit it with your lighter, it was using matches or the drill kit. Or if you were using your drill kit, it would use your matches and the drill kit. So, fixed multiple build menu UI issues. That's just all-encompassing. More than one player-built ceiling now disappears when in build mode. So when you're in build mode, it should be most tiles that you're standing underneath when you're trying to like place things like roofs and stuff like that. Let's see. Electric fences now damage players in PvP. Barbed wire on walls and fences now apply damage to enemies and players. Glass jars are now consumed when used in crafting. Multiple fixes for player item duping. So we had about 6 or 7 different duping methods that were brought to our attention. Fixed. Infinite fiber bush has been fixed. The TP horse command abuse has been fixed. There has also been a cooldown implemented. So if you try to get close to a structure and use TP horse to glitch into people's bases, you can't do that anymore. You got a blocking volume there. You can't do it. Also, when you TP your horse, you can't sit there TP horse, TP horse, TP horse. That doesn't work anymore. You have like a 15-20 minute cooldown. Horse whistle is now working appropriately. Horse UI button prompts now reflect appropriately when using mouse and keyboard or controller. Fixed horse duping saddle issue, so people were able to dupe the saddles. Can't do it anymore. They also can't go in pockets anymore. NVGs can now be toggled appropriately on the horse. The NVG abuse has been fixed as well. So getting into a vehicle, turning on your NVGs, taking off the NVGs, and then getting out and running around so that way you're not consuming battery or you're just running around using different headgear. That's taken care of. Dog vest can now be repaired. Gas mask is no longer visually on the character when not worn. Sleeping and accessing settings no longer removes your HUD. If, for whatever reason, your HUD disappears, go into your settings, turn off hardcore HUD, turn it back on again. Or turn it on and then turn it back off again. That'll fix it. That's the best we can do right now, but again, this issue has been fixed. If you run into other issues. Survivor SUVs and locked containers no longer refuse to open the inventory. Hoodies, or jumpers, as some people call them, no longer remove themselves when toggling the hood up and down. Demo saves no longer tied to main game, which was causing multiplayer issues. So anybody, again, in the future, yeah, Dubs is on it. Anybody in the future, if you're deciding to buy the game, you want to try the free demo that's out there before you decide to jump in and play. It's its own little map. Experience the demo. You won't experience any of that inside the main game. It's its own little contained map, designed to give you guys a taste of what's in the main game. I have an NPC in there as well. Go check it out. The demo was causing issues where I'm going to name my save Darrow, right? And I like the demo. I'm going to buy the game. I buy the game. I go to create my save. I name it Darrow, right? Now there's a conflict issue because you've already got a demo save that has that same name, and it was causing petition to make a scroll down t-shirt in game. I'm sure Dubs can handle that. It was causing issues like vehicles not being able to spawn, loot not being able to spawn, NPCs, like all this other sorts of shit. It was also causing your saves to delete because it was trying to fight between two different saves. So that issue has been rectified. If you run into it, please let me know. Get a hold of me on Steam discussions. Get a hold of me on Reddit. Best way you can get a hold of me is on Discord. You can @ me on Discord. Please don't DM me because I have all my DMs muted. Scroll down. Fixed an issue where save files were not populating in the load game menu. Okay, so this was also a huge one where you would need to go back and go into your files, verify that your saved game was actually populated in your saved game files inside the game files. Then you would have to go and name a new save, the exact same name as the save you're trying to recover. It would ask you if you want to overwrite or keep. You would keep, not overwrite. You would keep. It would take you back to the loading screen game menu, the loading save menu, and then your save would populate and then you could play. Hopefully that's fixed with what we did. If you still run into that issue with saves not populating in your load game list, let me know. Flamethrowers no longer take gun repair kits to fill ammo. Flamethrowers display position fixed in gun rack. Flamethrower no longer recovers ammo by placing it in backpack or swapping with another weapon. Overall, Zeke kills now account for fire damage. Hostile dogs now take damage from the flamethrower. No more infinite rocks spawning on the map. That was a loading thing. We fixed that. Fish and animal traps working appropriately. Only put in enough bait as there are free slots to acquire meat and fish. All right. You can put 50 bait in there, and you have a hit or miss chance on the fish or the meat populating in the trap. Okay. Caution you on putting only just enough bait in there to fill up however many slots are in there. So if you have the fishing trap, which has 2 slots, put in 2 pieces of bait. Okay. Fish are stacking. They're not supposed to, but they do stack. Meat doesn't stack, so you might run into some issues. We're still working on it. It's on our docket of things to continually improve, but that's as far as we've gotten so far. Wonder if there is katana rack for Ninja show off his best swords. Maybe in the future. Put it in our feedback and suggestions on the Discords or Steam discussions. Full containers now allow stacking of stackable items. So if you had a full container and you had 6 cans and then you had 2 cans in your backpack and you would try to transfer them over, it wasn't transferring. That's been taken care of. Would love to see if there is a duplication glitch with that, because as we fix things and allow more stacking, more duplication glitches come up. Rocket launcher and grenade launcher ammo no longer disappears when picked up. Round 3 of this, okay? The issue with this beforehand was ammunition has certain stacking requirements and a threshold on how many can stack. That ammunition was taking regular ammunition values instead of the designated 2 or 3 rockets or 1 or 2, grenade launcher rounds as their max value. It was spawning like 22 rounds, 15 rounds. And when you go to pick it up, the game would identify that you are trying to exceed the max value stack, and it would just completely delete it. Because we have people that were out there duping things, we had people out there trying to get thousands of values of things, people out there using mods that they're not supposed to be using until 1.0 happens, and just creating more issues for us. So that's where that issue was. That's been fixed. Camper van no longer deletes your items without cooking them. Camper van no longer deletes your food when logging in and out. Camper van no longer deletes your food when left in the cooker and driving around. Okay. Gas tank prompt detection for vehicles has been slightly increased. So, now it's not, and again, any more pixel perfect maneuvering. Generators now account for capacity of fuel cans. So what was happening was people were taking 16% fuel cans as an example, putting them in the generator and getting full value. That's not a thing anymore. Fixed multiple night vision exploit issues, like I mentioned earlier. Control left click now works for moving stacked items to drop backpacks. Control left click now works moving items between backpacks that are full, allowing stacking. Control left click no longer freezes your screen when transferring bullet casings to your inventory. Lots of stuff. But you prefer steel bat using that? Oh, see, I'm a pipe wrench user. A lot of people love the katana. I mean, that's cool. Great, if you want to play on easy mode. I don't like it because of the way it swings. I don't like the animation sets for it at all. I love Yaza to death. He's done fantastic with improving all of the animations, getting the downward animations, improving the hand-eye cave for all of the different things, so that way they don't look all wonky with weird, I have a gun in my head. So I'm a pipe wrench user guy. I love the pipe wrench. I love the heft of it. I love the thunk that it makes. I love that it, may or may not have increased performance when, hitting zombies in the head. It may or may not. I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it doesn't, because we don't give that type of information. Just throwing that out there. Seed packets, when opened in contain... No, we'll save that. Seed packets no longer cause seed packets when opening in containers now give more than 1 seed. The problem with that was when you would open a seed packet inside of a container, it would only give 1 seed. Now it doesn't do that anymore. So thank you for the video and showing us that happens. Sleeping bags no longer cause player to get stuck. Sleeping bags no longer cause the UI to become frozen. Fixed collision issues on roofs of reported buildings. Fixed Bobby's quest line issues. Not going to go into it because I don't want to spoil the quest line for people. Fixed Roman taking items when turning in his quests. So we were aware that Roman was taking... the way Roman works right now, I'm going to be working on Roman starting Monday. Okay? I have to do an entire overhaul of Roman. Right now, his quests are repeatable and they last for 2 or 3 days. Okay? It's meant to be that way. He's supposed to take the same item multiple times over and over and over again. His problem was he wasn't taking the items. They were just staying in your inventory. That's been fixed. Same with Knob and the Honey. Same with other quests. Okay. Yeah, he's gonna be getting pretty interesting come 1.0. Window in tutorial no longer destructible, allowing access outside the tutorial zone. So there was one window inside the starter building that you could break down and then access the outside of the tutorial area. That's been fixed. That was reported 6 months ago. And actually, no, that was reported back in September when we did the format event over in Liverpool. And we saw that and we're like, ugh. We fixed it, but apparently it didn't take. So. Italian translation seizure warning has been fixed. Minor typos fixed in multiple areas. Multiple terrain floating spawner issues. Okay. The known issues. Hey, what's up, Dado? Dado is one of our newest Discord moderators. So make sure you also check out Dado on Twitch. Dado streams all the time. Thank you for popping in, brother. Known issues. Okay. Map resetting during a crash. We have not been able to replicate it. It's been an issue for the past two and change years. Past 1 and change years. September will be 2 years. What happens is people have a power outage or their game just quits on them, right? Their map will reset, not their game file, just the map. Sometimes the icons stay, sometimes the icons don't, okay? We are not going to force a power outage on any of our systems in order to replicate that. Doing Alt F4 does not have an effect on anything that we have done. We have tried to replicate it, and hey, Mad Bulldozer, welcome in. Thank you so much. Thanks for following, brother. Follower goal, what did we hit? 490. Shit, 10 more and we hit 500. Nice. That would be fucking amazing. Mad Bulldozer. Thanks for taking the time to come over here, man. I really do appreciate you coming over here, brother. He's been very, very helpful on Discord as well. Logging a lot of stuff and you know, making sure that we're on the straight and narrow. Privet. So yeah, we're not going to force our systems to go into a power outage, but we haven't been able to replicate it. We know it's a known issue. As we can find more ways to narrow down the cause aside from the power outage, that we can force a replication issue, we'll fix it. Steam Cloud pulling settings when switching between Steam Deck and PC. Okay. End task from end. No, we've already tried that. That Alt F4, Task Manager, all that. We've gone through all that. Forcing the game to do things that it's not intended to do to get it to force timeout and quit. We've tried everything. It hasn't worked. If you're playing on Steam Deck or playing on PC, and then you decide to switch between the two, for whatever reason, you want to go play HumanitZ, you know, on the go, or you're done, you're saving, you know, while you're on the go, and you want to come back and play on your PC or your laptop, whatever, Steam pulls your settings. Okay, we get it that it messes with your resolution. We're working on a fix. We just couldn't get to it now. Okay? This is more a 1.0 thing. Doc is still causing problems with his pathing for his quests. We know Doc is senile. Doc likes to do what he wants to do. We're working on it. A lot of the quests are getting redone. Scenario mode, scenario 1, the swamp scenario. Furniture respawns when saving and exiting and then re-entering again. Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Have we tried turning it off and turning it back on again? Debugging 101. Yeah, we tried it. Oh, you know what? I still got coffee over here. Go get your awesome HumanitZ coffee traveler mugs over on humanitzgame.com. It's really cool. Various carjack issues, snow showing inside structures, multi-story base buildings. Okay, cool. That's it for that piece. Coming soon, work in progress. Skills and professions overhaul. Pending how many bugs we have over the weekend. Okay, if we need a fucking ninja patch, or if they're like, we'll do a quality of life update here in the future, whatever. Okay, cool. Skills and professions overhaul. There is, what you know about skills and professions now is going to drastically change. It's going to be completely different. It is not going to be like it is now. Okay. I am pretty much 90% responsible for the skills and professions, but everybody as a team, like the coding, the icons, the testing, the UI, you know, like a lot of that stuff, everybody's touching different pieces of that. So it's not just me, but I do have a specific piece in this, which I will talk about when it comes out. I'm very excited for it, that my input was introduced into this, especially since my inspiration from it has nothing to do with any zombie games. I'll throw that out there. The Hidden Island map expansion. So yes, the map itself that you play on is not getting bigger. So the grids, that's not getting bigger. The island that is currently blocked off that you guys can't access unless you go into super admin and fly through the barrier in your single player modes or anything. That's the area that we're going to be working on for 1.0. That's what we mean by map expansion. That's going to be a whole nother area, end game area that you guys are going to be going to. Okay? End game content. More map changes and beautification. So as we add more POIs, change up areas, Sue's has been fucking killing it. MK doing all of the asset design and rework on that. Yaw's coming in on the back end and making sure all the loot is where it needs to go. I'm going to get into the big map and I'm going to be completely redoing a lot of the checkpoints and military areas to bring them up to my standard. They're good now, but they could be a little better. PvP overhaul. We've added some PvP content in here to help a little bit. We're still going to be doing a huge PvP overhaul. We're going to be calling on a lot of our PvP players to join our public test or our private testing group, and specifically going into our servers and doing PvP stuff. Additional scenarios, more weapons and clothing all the time. Quest changes and additions. Steam Deck further optimized. Console release. Mod support. What else? There was something else that I saw that I wanted to add in there. More map changes. It came with more map changes and beautification. I thought about it. This isn't all inclusive, okay? You've got, we want to do walkie-talkies. We want to do more. We got the character customization that's coming. We've got more than the skills and or the quests that are being added and changed. And anybody else that wants to play the game, try the demo, have lasted this long throughout the video. When you play the game and you do the radio tower quest, okay, that quest is being completely redone. It's not really meant to be a moth to the flame beacon, the big lamp brother, It's not meant to be like, oh, let's go to that big green area and go over there and then do that quest, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is the only quest, I don't know what to do. That's not the end-all be-all. It's a world quest. Go to the survivor camps. There's about 70 quests currently in the game that you guys can do. Some people say that they're not good for anything because of XP, but you can get certain skills off of them. You can get certain crafting books off of them that you can't get from anybody else. Knowledge requirements. You get extra skill points. Yes, you get experience, but you get more by killing zombies. For now. Wait till the skills and professions overhaul. And there's some lore driven. That's what it was. Lore. We are going to be adding lore to the game for 1.0. Lore is not currently in the game on purpose, but you can get little tidbits by talking to the NPCs. Okay, go talk to the NPCs. There will be lore to find and figure out later on. That's all 1.0 stuff. Right? So, any ideas, comments, questions, concerns, bitches, gripes, complaints? When this goes live on YouTube, throw them down in the comments below. If you don't like what you are playing, if you don't like what you see, if you don't like me as a person, I personally don't care. Thumbs down the video, I don't care. That doesn't bother me. It's just another Thursday for me. If you don't like something about the game, please give us that feedback, okay? Like, don't say game sucks. Game's garbage. Why do you think it's garbage? Why don't you like it? What could be better? Okay, if you say, well, the controller sucks, it's hard to aim. Okay, give me some examples of other games. And if anybody says V Rising, don't get me started. Okay, we're not doing a V Rising type control scheme. All right, we've tried V Rising. I personally have bought V Rising. I love vampires. I personally bought V Rising. I couldn't get behind the control scheme. It just wasn't for me. Okay, V Rising is a great game. I'll watch people play it. Okay, but if you don't like something about the game, don't just say it sucks. Be constructive, help the community as a whole, tell us exactly why, give us some feedback, give us some examples, and we'll see if it's doable or not, okay? We are receptive to feedback, but if we say, yeah, no, we're not going to do that, we'll let you know why. And if that answer's not good enough for you, sorry, not sorry. Okay, I'm just being honest, I'm being real with you. A lot of people want to be coddled to. I don't coddle to people, all right? I'm upfront and I'm honest with you guys, okay? If you have comments, concerns, bitches, gripes, complaints, go on to Reddit, go on to Steam discussions, come over to the Discord. Easiest way, like shit, jump into Discord and message me, a big brawny bodybuilder, welcome in. DM me, or not, don't DM me, at me in Discord. I'll jump into a phone call conversation with you. Yaz will jump into a phone call conversation with us. I'm sure Dubs, when he's like Dubs has a lot of shit that he has going on, you know, personally. So he's on later in the evenings when we're actually working. I'm constantly on Discord while I'm busy doing other stuff too. So I have a little bit more affordability and time. Not so much like Yowza and Dubs, but I will talk with you directly, take your feedback and notes, and bring it to the team. All right. We are so easy to get a hold of. We're very responsive, usually get back to you within 24 hours, if not within 5 minutes. So thank you all for the support and feedback leading up to this update. We push forward towards 1.0, and we thank you all for helping build a greater community. Regards, the entire HumanitZ team. So if anybody has questions right now, please feel free to ask. I didn't see anything up until right now with Hugo. Do you guys have any plans for firearms customization, like butt stocks and things like that? Do we have any plans? We have some ideas. I'm not going to go into anything. I'm not going to say yes or no because I'm not going to lock us into anything. Maybe. Any possibility for dual wielding melee weapons? You mean like dagger, like you know, rogue stance type shit? Game is great. People suck. People don't suck. People in large quantities suck. Okay. Remember, a person is smart. Okay. Go back and watch Men in Black. A person is smart. People in large groups, not so much. But you know, you get enough of them together. You guys are awesome. I love the way you guys always respond to us. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. Some people may not like what I have to say. I'm a very honest, upfront type of person, but I will always be honest with you. Right? I will always show you the respect that you deserve too. So, like dual swords and like that, maybe. I can say that there are no current plans, but that's never off the table. It all has to do with animation and being able to get damage coded and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So if those are the only questions you guys have, try the free demo. Hit up all of our different social media. Come get a hold of us. Hang out on the Discord. Try the demo. Try the demo. Try the demo. Steam Summer Sale. The game is now on sale. Okay, so go check it out. It's on discount. I know a lot of people. I will say one thing, and this is a conversation that I had with one of my buddies. I am a gamer first before I am a game dev. Okay, my opinion does not reflect on Yodub Studios. No, this has nothing to do with the studio. I had a conversation with my buddy Kage the other day, and we were talking about how people expect a lot out of games. The game's $20, guys. The game's $20. If you get 20 hours worth of entertainment, you got $1 of entertainment per hour, right? If you got 100 hours of entertainment, you got like 3 cents per hour of entertainment. It's math, whatever. My daughter could figure it out in like a quarter of a second. This isn't The Witcher. It's not meant to be, you know, like full of a whole bunch of crap. It's not. It's. Come on, guys. I'm not saying go out and buy it when it's not on sale, but if people are saying, you know, oh, wait for it to go on sale before you buy it. If times are tight, I'll tell you. If somebody messages me, I'll be like, hey, hold off until next week. We might be having a sale. I'll legitimately tell you, and then I'll tell Yaza that I told them, and Yaza will not fire me. He'll yell at me, and then he might dock my pay, but that's okay because you know why? Because I'm trying to help the community, especially, you know, it is what it is. I don't do it for everybody, only one-offs. But you know, it's a $20 game, guys. You know, enjoy it, have fun with it, try out the free demo first. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. Okay, play with the camera settings, play with the controller settings, play with a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, if you don't like the demo, come over to. Am I going to raid out? I don't feel that that's appropriate coming from me. But I think I know who you're talking about. Let me see if I can do this appropriately. Raid. What the fuck's his name? Hang on. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. We'll go ahead and check it out. Hang on. It's muted, right? Yeah, mute site. One second. Yeah, so Yeah, I'm done here. You guys go hang out. $20, but the game is worth millions to me. I mean, we've got people that play 4,000 hours. So everybody go hang out over here, and I will catch you all next time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you guys, and we will see you all for the next update or when I come into your servers and I demolish your buildings. Bye.
Oh my goodness, Stein. Thank you so much for gifting two subscriptions out as well. One to Dado and to Total. No Toe Angry Fish. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. And Dara coming in with the 50 viewer raid on Twitch as well. Welcome, guys, man. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Thank you so much for the raid there, Dara. Hope you had a good one and did your good explaining skills with the new update, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hugo, thank you ever so much for the follow as well. Big love, man. Thank you, thank you. What's up, Mr. Dubs? Cracking job, guys, already. I was straight on the ball with this update. I couldn't wait. Sorry, Dara, I apologize. And also, any of you viewers over on YouTube, go check out Dara and Dubs over on Twitch. Both part of the development of this game. Go give them a follow, show them some love. They do some really incredible work with this.
Yep.
Like I say,
Hey.
each time there's a new update, the game just gets better and better. So, yeah.
Whack ass up.
Glasses.
Was ist los?
I hope you're all doing fantastic. It's good to see you all. Update is fire indeed, man. It is fire. It's gonna be fire. I'm looking forward to checking out a load more. We already found the M4, the new M4. We found some new car bits and pieces. We've got a car ready to go. We've got Bert on the server who's heading up this way. So it is. It's the start of something cool, you know. It's the start of something cool. Mr. Dubs, thank you ever so much, man. 6 months. Wow. Wow, 6 months. That's insane. Thank you so much for the resub. Much love to you, Mr. Dubs. I appreciate you. And I should think you lot are all extremely tired, huh? Every time an update comes around, you guys
Nazi cat. Hitler cat.
Wait, Hitler cat? What?
Yeah.
You saw it?
It was on the
Oh,
yeah, it was on the outside of a like a building at the laundry mat or wherever he's at right now. I don't know.
Oh.
I'll do my best to try and keep up with both the chats. But thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Okay, at the church, it's
Okay, I'll check them out. I like games like this. Yeah, check
the
them
opposite
out, man.
direction that
I am doing some key
Loki's
giveaways
running
as well.
now.
I've already given one away,
Towards the church.
vanilla one, and the next one we'll do. Give me like 5 minutes. We'll do the next one. The next one will be over on Twitch. So if you want to get your hands on
Where's
the
it
game,
now? Yep,
even
there's
if
the
you have
cat.
it already and you want to give it away to one of your friends.
Yo, that fucking t-shirt idea wasn't bad.
That's pretty funny.
It was funny.
Giveaways for this game quite often.
Well, now.
As I said,
Oh, God, it's fucking hot in here.
new people that are around.
We can make them.
I will be.
We can make shirts pretty easily, actually.
Going forward for this big community event.
Like MK set it up to where you just have to like have the image. So you would create the image, scroll down, and then you can add it.
Oh no, Bear, you got so close. Exclamation mark server in the chat. We're on Loki's Valhalla, which is my own locally hosted server. We have a 16-player count so far. It's a PvE server. I've upped the difficulty slightly with the Zeeks, the bandits. The loot respawn time is at 90 minutes. And yeah, it's a really good community server. Lots of people on here. Anyone that's new that wants to jump on, there's plenty of people around that will be willing to help people as well. So sorry, yeah, it's PvE Spartans, and thank you again for the support, man. I do really appreciate that. Really appreciate all.
But you're still live, bro.